My name is Syra.
And how old are you?
I'm 15.
My name is Kalea. I'm 19 years old.
I'm Kira Park and I'm 16 years old.
My name is Parnika and I'm 17.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Toe and I was born in the 70s.
My name is Avani Karkar and I'm 16.
My name is Sophie. I'm 17.
So I grew up in Hong Kong. I lived there for 10 years before moving to Washington State in 5th grade. And in Hong Kong, I attended a private school, the same private school, for about 6 years. And then I transferred to a public school when I moved to the States.
I grew up in Bellevue, Washington, and I just recently moved to Texas.
And how do you feel about Texas?
I feel it's kind of like a big change in like education and socially and stuff.
I was born in England. My parents are from Hong Kong and we returned back to Hong Kong when I was 8. So interestingly, I grew up mainly speaking English. So my first language was actually English. But then when I got back to Hong Kong, my parents really wanted me to learn my own culture and go to a local school. But I was just too old to go to a local education system. So so they put me in an international school.
So I grew up kind of all over the place. My family lived in New York, and then we lived in Pennsylvania, and then India, and then finally Washington. And some of my background is most of my family lives in India. A lot of my influence is from there. And a lot of my family also grew up on the East Coast.
I intend to go to college and major in aerospace engineering.
I think I want to get into school for athletics because I play soccer pretty competitively. But I think when I'm at school, I want to study like a more science pathway, pre-med and stuff. And so I think I'll take that more into my professional career than sports.
I'm hoping to get my bachelor's degree in the future. I'm not sure what major, maybe a therapist.
I think coming from my household, education has been really instilled in us and the importance of it. When I lived in India, my family was part of this group called ConnectHer, and they helped orphaned and abandoned girls go to school and also just give them housing and things like that, basic necessities. And just seeing how they are so appreciative of their education has given me a lot of motivation to do well in school and then go far in life.
I've been through life and just seen it from in hindsight. I can see education being very important, helping you establish who you are, building up your confidence, building up your know-how, your expertise. But I think equally important is the life skills that you gain as you go along with your education. I feel that the knowledge is important, but then being able to use that knowledge in a practical way.
Definitely a lot of technical skills and also writing skills and also some computer skills.
The education there actually wasn't the best. Like, it was okay, but I feel like I definitely didn't learn that much. It was more focused on the kids' experience rather than like actual learning and grades and stuff. Like, we didn't even have a grade system. It was just like meet standard, exceed standard, or below standard. There was no like GPA or A's or B's or anything.
Yeah, my favorite book is Perks of a Wallflower, Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I think because it's such an interesting take on someone's mind and an interesting take on the outlook of society.
I think my favorite book is Earthlings. It's a pretty weird book. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but it's really interesting.
So one book that really comes to mind is when I was in my 20s, I was working in a bank and I picked up a book called 7 Habits by Stephen Covey. And I remember the very first chapter of that book was, imagine you are attending a funeral and you go to the I guess we call it the place where the person is resting, and you look down and you see that person is actually you yourself.
One book. One book can affect your education. There are 129,864,880 books worldwide, from children's books to a novel, which can educate you no matter where you're from or who you are. education is a vital part of someone's life, especially for women. It wasn't common until around the 1840s and 1850s that women became educated. To this day, 8,355,000 girls are enrolled in high school in America. However, South Sudan has been named for the least amount of girls to receive an education. 73% of girls do not go to primary school, and the government only spends 2.6% on education. Research has shown that girls who do not receive education are more at risk of violence, diseases such as HIV and AIDS, and poverty. Many of these things can be avoided with access to education. In South Sudan and other countries, many girls are already married before they are 18 and intend to follow the stereotype of cooking, cleaning, and attending to their children.